Well, now we can speak to one of the Israeli government ministers who's come to visit this Iron Dome site here today, Uzi Landau. Thank you very much indeed for being with us, Mr. Landau. The fighting continues, the bombardment of Gaza continues. A lot of people around the world are asking, why is Israel inflicting such heavy casualties in Gaza, 90 dead at least so far?
Sir, what we're trying to do here is, on the one hand, fulfill our commitment to our people, which is making it possible for our people to enjoy personal security. They have been under continued bombardment from Gaza, which is a long outpost of Iran. Secondly, we are doing that in a surgical manner. That is, we are doing our best just to target terrorists and terrorist infrastructure. Of course, you have a collateral damage, and the figures which you just mentioned are figures that, compared to the kind of the enormous endeavor that we have to go through, compared to what's happening in Afghanistan and elsewhere, it is just minimum, and we hope, of course, to make it as minimum as we can.
Well, you say it's surgical, but for example, we had a house hit yesterday, a family of 10 were killed, women, children. That was it, just in one house.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And of course, you have some kind of such mistakes that every army, unfortunately, is doing during a time of war. And we are at a time of war that we have been forced to go into just because our population has been under simply a continued barrage. But as we are targeting just terrorists as much as we can, what you see here is a deliberate attempt by terrorists equipped by Iran just to, on purpose, target our highly civilian populated centers. That's a major difference. And when you see here the Iron Dome batteries, we're putting that not to protect our army, but as you can see, just to protect sheer civilians. That's the difference between them and between us.
I understand what you're saying, and we've seen the rockets coming into southern Israel, but many people will say it's disproportionate, this war, if it is a war, because, you know, we've had 3 dead, as I reported, on this side, probably maybe nearly 100 dead in Gaza. What would you say to that argument?
Sir, one has to understand that every government has to protect its population as much as we do. But what you see on the other side is not just simply launching missiles and launching rockets, but they are doing that from schoolyards. They're doing that from the vicinity of mosques, of hospitals. They are not only targeting our population, but they are doing that, endangering on purpose their population, so that once, as we are trying to protect ourselves, hitting them, and some of their civilians are hit, here comes the BBC and tell us, hey, this is improportional. You know what would happen if the BBC would cover the battle between David and Goliath? BBC would zoom on the forehead of Goliath, which is full of blood, and then everybody in the world would say that Goliath is the victim and David is the villain. Sir, we have to understand this is a war. We are protecting our people, and we wish the BBC and just simply to come and see Gaza and see who is really the terrorist and who is trying to protect himself. What we are doing, we are just trying to target the combatants, the terrorist infrastructure, to protect our people, sir.
Okay, well, it's not the BBC saying this. I'm just repeating what many people around the world might say and asking you for your response. But thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's Uzi Landau, Israeli government minister, talking to us here. Thank you,
sir.
For your time.